Hello, I'm Edgar Kramer from SoundStage Australia, and today I'd like to talk to you and introduce you to the brand new 801 D4 from Bowers Wilkins, which is the flagship speaker of the 800 series. The 800 series is actually brand new. As of today, which is mid-September, it was released a week ago. So this is a brand new speaker. It's the top of the line, and today I'm going to talk to you about some of the technologies and also some early listening impressions. Now, you may have noticed that they've gone back to 801 as the denomination for the flagship model in the 800 series from Bowers Wilkins. And it's obviously tip of the hat or going back to tradition in terms of relating it back to the original 801, which you might remember was an iconic design with a large bass driver and the squared off top enclosure. The 801 D4 is very much a 21st century speaker, so it's got a whole heap of technologies which have improved on the previous generation D3. The mid-range driver is a continuum driver again, like the D3, but it now sits in a turbine enclosure which has also features a new decoupling system to reduce vibrational distortions. Now, the trick about the continuum driver itself is that it's got a new spider design, and it's something that when you look at it, you'd think, well, why hasn't this been done before? So it doesn't use the ubiquitous yellow cloth spider, but it features a composite plastic biomimetic design, as Bowers Wilkins refers to it, and it basically deals with some of the air pressure distortions that a normal spider actually has. When the driver moves up and down, or when the driver's moving in general, it creates air pressure in front of and behind the spider. Now, with the biomimetic spider, which is basically a skeletal design, there's no such air pressure issues. Excursion can be free. And what potentially that could translate to is more dynamic sound and a faster, more powerful transient attack with the mid-range. The new bass enclosure is actually heroically built. So again, it keeps that same teardrop design from the previous generation with the drivers in individual aluminium pods, and there's a heavy bracing inside. There's also a steel plate baffle reinforcement, and the bracing inside is actually steel as well. So it's a really well-made enclosure. You knock on it and it's like knocking the side of a mountain. It is solid, and it weighs about 100 kilos, the speaker itself. So it's a very, very stiff construction, and obviously there's going to be a great platform for bass drivers to operate optimally. Placing the speakers in my room was a little tricky in terms of just sheer weight of the speaker at 100 kilograms, and I had to do this with someone else. I got someone to help me. But what I like about the design is the boxes come with a built-in kind of ramp. The speakers come on wheels, so you wheel it off the box, you wheel it around to the room. Hopefully you don't have too many steps, and you can, once in your room, the great thing about having those rollers is that you can play around with speaker positioning within your room. Once you've got that locked in, there's a really good heavy-duty M12 spiking system, which you can engage once you've got that room position locked in. Now, in terms of the 801 D4's performance, without giving too much away prior to the review coming out in a few weeks' time, it's typically Bowers Wilkins, but it's another level. It's much more transparent than the previous design. It's also a much more balanced speaker now. I found that the level of bass is, as always, for Bowers Wilkins speakers, solid, but it's tighter. It blends in much better with the mid-range. The mid-range is more transparent. It's fast. So that biomimetic spider is doing its thing. And the top end is just sweet and extended, and there's lots of detail. It's one of those designs that can straddle both the consumer space as well as pro. So I'm sure that Abbey Road Studios will get their hands on this 801D4 sooner or later. And as far as consumers are concerned, this is a remarkable step up from the D3, the previous generation.